He was a headliner in a dog business of the American dirt.
That's the very tip
Like
top.
Pharaoh's reincarnates to J.P. Morgan.
And Henry Ford.
All men were equal.
But the cream rises to the top. Oh, let me at those sons of bitches. These men are the demons who are sucking your very souls dry. I hate them.
Someone should arrest that woman.
The radical anarchist Emma Goldman fought against the ravages of American capitalism as she watched her fellow immigrants home stirred with despair on the Lower East Side. La 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 la. America was watching another drama.
Evelyn Nesbit was the most beautiful woman in America. She wore her hair in curls. Every woman wore her hair in curls.
Her mother was the eminent architect Stanford White, designer of the Pennsylvania Station on 33rd Street.
Instead of the millionaire Harry Van Gogh.